Okay folks, so welcome to the next part in the series of repairing the old spinning rod. And what I'm going to do in this little clip is I'm going to show you the different types of windings that there are on old fishing rods. And okay, so the first type of winding I'm going to describe is essentially this type here, where you've got threading coming up to a brass ferrule. Now that happens here, and if you also look at where the joining tube is, it also happens here. These are typically in order to substantiate the base connection of the tube, and at this end of the rod they are there for decoration, to make it look a little nicer too. On certain types of rod, like fly rods, this brass tube here will have little leaves coming off it, which helps the fly rod to flex with the tube, so the tube doesn't work itself loose and come off, and the threads generally go around the little leaves, but I'm not going to show that today because this is a spinning rod. It's an old bamboo spinning rod. So the other type of winding that we get are decorative windings, which is this one here, and they are typically, and you can just see one. You can just see one there actually. They are typically on the joints of the bamboo, and they're typically put there to cover the joints of the bamboo, and they form a decorative winding, which makes quite a nice product. The other type of winding, of course, is this you see here, where you've got the maybe you can't see it so well there. You can see it on there though, where you've got the double threading here, and this is where the rod eye goes, and that's typically approached in a slightly different way. These windings here that you see, these are called banding. On split cane rods from early 1900, they actually hold the split cane together, because the split cane's formed in pieces. This is a beech top on this rod, and these particular windings help to stop the beech from splitting and cracking. The last type of winding I want to show you, maybe not the last one actually, but the last type of winding is this one here, and this is the end winding, which winds the final rod eye at the end of the tip of the rod. There is one other type of winding that you see on these older rods, and that's this one at the end here. Let's see if I can get that into focus. And you often see a little brass divot there, and there's another one. If you look at the connecting joint, you can see there's another brass divot here. So they are used so that when the rod is put together, you wind a piece of twine or wire, steel wire around that, and it helps to stop the rod from having a dead spot when you're casting. And in the case of a spinning rod, it can stop the rod from actually falling apart. So that's what they're all for. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to strip all these windings down, and then we're going to clean up the rod and prepare it for a new set of windings. Typically, to strip something like this down, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but in a case like this where you've got a very old one which is working loose, what you simply do is you pull a hold of the thread and uncoil it. It's that simple. In the case of certain types of windings where you can't actually find the end of the thread, don't know if I've got any on here. Yes, in fact I have got these ones here. What you would do in this case is, and I may show you that in a moment, is you would take a Stanley knife and gently shave the top of the threads without touching the wood until you are nearly down to the wood, and then you pull the thread away. And that's the other way to do it. If you're taking threads from a winding, you can actually cut down the side of the eye arm, which is a good quick way of getting the threads off.